Hi, Todd Warren here in the Forecast Center with the latest look on what to expect with this weekend's winter storm. Changes that you may be looking for. The only significant change is in timing, and models continuing to trend later as far as the onset of when we make that switch from rain to freezing rain across the area. Still looks like it's mainly going to be freezing rain, although there are a few model holdouts indicating more sleet. So let's keep our fingers crossed that plays out that way, although it's likely not. And amounts really haven't changed that much, as you'll see here in a second. So let's get to it with a look at Futurecast. Start you off this evening. Temperatures late this evening will be in the 40s and low 50s across the area. Not much change in temperatures overnight. Very well could start to see a few scattered showers develop by morning. You can see temperatures at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning in the upper 30s to low 40s north and the mid to upper 40s further to the south. Not going to see a whole lot of change in temperatures during the day tomorrow. You can see by the time we get to 7 o'clock, we will start to see the rain increase over the northern sections of the area. That's going to cool the atmosphere down somewhat and allow temperatures to drop close to freezing. Notice it is a few hours later than what it was looking like the day before yesterday, and yesterday now appears as if it could be after sunset before we start to see the freezing rain fall in areas near Interstate 30. By 7 p.m., still at 40 in Shreveport. Again, the model's pushing things back here as well. We may not see the change over to freezing rain until early Saturday morning. You can see 6 a.m. we're very close to freezing in Shreveport. The freezing rain will be rather heavy over the northern sections of the area early Saturday. And you can see moving through Saturday, not a whole lot of change in temperatures. We'll stay in the low 20s north, probably settle into the mid 20s along I-20. And notice the southern parts of the ArkLaTex down towards Manny and Natchitoches. You may wait until late Saturday before temperatures drop to freezing in that part of the ArkLaTex. So worst case scenario here, looks like it could begin to play out Saturday night. The freezing rain becomes much more widespread. We will see some bands of heavy freezing rain begin to move into the area as temperatures will remain pretty much in the low to middle 20s with a few upper teens over the north and northeastern sections of the area. And then Sunday morning, late Saturday night, Sunday morning is going to be that window of opportunity to maybe see some sleet mixed in with the freezing rain, perhaps a few flakes of snow over the northern sections of the area. And you can see temperatures at noon Sunday will be in the low to middle 20s, and we will not make it to freezing on Sunday as we likely stay in the 20s for daytime highs. We will struggle to make it a few degrees above normal on Monday after lows Monday morning in the low to middle teens. So keep in mind, we are looking at the potential for some power outages, and we are going to be looking at some extremely cold temperatures once this precipitation comes to an end, moving into the beginning of next week. Now, we do have some model disagreement on how much ice we could see. You can see some of the models, the GFS is colder, so that's why it's basically rather pessimistic on the ice amounts. The majority of the models are a bit warmer, including Futurecast. So again, I just wanted to point out there's still some degree of uncertainty as to how this will play out. Most of the models indicating freezing rain mainly. It is possible that we could see more sleet than freezing rain, although I wouldn't bet the house that that's going to happen. Meantime, looking at the blend of models, if you blend all what I've just showed you together, you can see it's still showing, especially in this area between I-30 and I-20, the likelihood of seeing at least 1/2 inch of ice accumulation by the time we get to Sunday evening. Those areas that don't get that much are still likely going to get at least 1/4 of an inch, and this is enough to cause some issues with power outages across the area, and it could be more. You saw some of the amounts with some of the individual models. A worst case scenario presented by the model blend shows that there's a 10% chance that we could see ice accumulations approach 1.5 inches. So obviously, an inch, there's a little bit better chance of seeing that much. So keep in mind we could see this ice storm rival that of the one that we experienced on Christmas Day of 2000. Now, I mentioned that we're seeing mainly a freezing rain. This is a look at the sleet outlook from Futurecast. Notice it does show some sleet, especially at the end of the event, but notice the number is relatively low. So even though we are looking at some sleet mix again, the amounts of accumulation of that sleet, it should be relatively light. And there is pretty good model agreement, too, that we will not be cold enough, deep enough to allow much snow, although northern sections of McCurtain County could get a little bit of a covering of the snow, maybe an inch or so up towards Batiste, but the rest of the ArkLaTex, a few flakes possible, but I wouldn't count on any accumulation. I'll keep my level of worry here at 8, as we have not seen any increase in the likely amounts according to the model blend, but be prepared for the possibility for power outages, as when we get to that half-an-inch threshold, that's when those outages tend to get more widespread, and when we get to the inch, that's when those widespread outages tend to last a while. So again, be prepared for the loss of power, and especially with the cold that's going to be coming in behind the system. I mentioned the cold. Look at your 10-day forecast. Shows the temperatures this weekend in the 20s for highs. 14 Sunday night. We stay in the teens. Monday night, we start to warm up. We'll see conditions improve, more than likely almost back to normal by Wednesday. And then we could see another round of rain, possibly mixed with snow, Thursday night into Friday morning, although that chance looking very slim at this point. And you can see we will stay rather chilly, with highs mainly in the 40s next week, and nighttime lows after warming close to freezing will eventually settle back into the low to middle 20s.